Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Loy, your friendly ALP teacher. Well, we are in term 3, week 7, and of course, week 6, the Friday, we celebrated National Day of 56 years of independence. So of course, it's a long weekend, and of course, week 7, Monday, 9th of August was a public holiday, and of course, school holiday follows, alright, the following day. So which means classes 2.1 and 2.4 you would have missed lesson 3 in week 7. Okay, so nonetheless, don't worry, you will catch up in week 9, and hopefully we move up to the September break, or in term 4 we see how. Okay, so for classes 2.2 and 2.3, finally 2.3 you caught up. Alright, so 2.2 and 2.3 you will be the first 2 classes to undergo the lesson 4 and lesson 5 package. Alright, so lesson 4 and or 5 in the sense that for some classes maybe lesson 4 is your only ALP lesson left for this term. So without further delay, let's look at what you're in for lessons 4 and 5. Now, in times of crisis presents opportunities, alright, but of course we must do the right, not the wrong. Okay, so in this case, when you fly a drone, right, you must do it for something that benefits mankind, alright, for a good purpose, for a good cause. So as you can see, the Straits Times reported on 20th June 2020, just last year, when Singapore experienced its first lockdown, and of course circuit breaker before it moved to phase 1, phase 2, and so on. So during that time, of course, all kinds of people, alright, will have to reinvent, re-innovate. Your teachers will have to go on full HBL, create e-learning lessons, SLS lessons, and so on and so forth. So of course, the public out there also are very innovative, but a few bad hats, alright, basically did the wrong thing. Alright, they make use of the drone. 2 men actually make use of the drone to fly and transport drugs, okay, from Johor Bahru to Kranji area. Okay, so as you can see, the news reported here is that they actually flew the drone from Kranji Reservoir Park and into Johor Bahru, a designated place, pick up the drugs. Okay, yes, it's actually drugs. It's methamphetamine, or commonly known as ice, 278 grams of it, and fly back successfully, all right, and land at Kranji. Of course, they were caught, right? They were monitored. Of course, Singapore has its means, okay, not openly to discuss here. So nonetheless, we should actually do it for the right cause. So coming back to your lessons 4 and 5, your real world challenge, right? So basically, if you have accessed Google Classroom, you would have gone through lessons 1, 2, and in one of those notes and slides, you would have actually come across this one there that mentions about drones having to pick up items, okay, have to do surveying, all right, fly through tunnels and things like that. So basically, it becomes a very handy device invented by human being, all right, to serve the human needs. Okay, so the drone thing, if operated correctly and properly, will be very beneficial. Okay, so let's look at what else we have. So to mimic the real world situation, right, we can't bring in a very heavy duty drone. So each one of you will be using the same BBC Avid drone. So we're going to create hypothetical scenarios for you. Okay, there are about 4 plus of them. So you will make a choice. All right, your team, you discuss with your teammate, and then all the teams, your same detail, will have to have agreement. All right, because one detail about 4 teams will actually move out at the same time, just like what you've done for lessons 2 and 3. So your Avid drones will mimic the commercially available drones in performing real-world tasks. In this case, real-world is in quotes lah, okay? And of course, based on a few hypothetical scenarios, the scenarios are actually categorized 2 levels, low risk and high risk. The actual risk is actually you have experienced, right, crashing the drone. Please don't crash the drone intentionally, or the drones actually flying into your classmates who are seated at the back of the hall or at the open space, you know, at the former White House area at the back of the near the back gate of the school. So generally, you got to be careful. Okay, the low risk and the high risk here pertains to the scenario, okay, in terms of the level of difficulty, the challenge, and how simple, how difficult the task is to be accomplished by you, the pilot. Okay, so we're going to look at all drones having a magnetic retriever, and the items to be retrieved will also be attached with a magnet, of course. Okay, north and south, unlike poles, will attract. So the air traffic controller, Mr. Ong, myself, or another teacher will help you fix or attach the magnetic retriever that is to be together with your drone. All right, we're going to fix it at where the LiPo battery cable, power cable goes into your drone. Okay, so the air traffic controller and the teachers will help you with that. So once that's done, you're ready to fly. Okay, of course, the items will be placed between you and the retriever of the landing pad. All right, and the details will be shared in later while. So you can see that your simply put, all scenarios require the pilots to perform basically simple pickup and deliver kind of a task. Okay, all scenarios, all right, whether it's low risk or high risk, is generally or basically pick up and then deliver. Okay, so you just need to fly the drones either through obstacles or without obstacles. Okay, in this case, lessons 2 and 3, lesson 2 you have learned how to hover and control the drone. Lesson 3 you will learn how to pass the drone or fly the drone through the hoop. Okay, so the hoop is actually your obstacle. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the drone in this picture here. All right, you can see nylon string, and then there's this magnetic retriever, and of course the items to be retrieved are also attached with magnet. Okay, so handle all these items with care. And we're going to move to the next thing about national education messages. So with National Day 56 year, all right, of independence, we are still very hyped about it. Okay, especially the road ahead, the song is really beautiful, the SG workout is also very nice. Okay, so do remember to continue with that. Okay, especially I like this part. Okay, all right, so coming back to be serious, there are 6 national messages. Of course, the one that is most useful for us is number 6. All right, basically we have confidence in our future. So you are our young ones, all right, the future of our nation. All right, so you need to acquire as many skills, including soft skills, as you can. In this case, these are very specific skills for you to learn how to control a drone. All right, eventually you might even proceed at institutions of higher learning to program the drone, and so on and so forth. Okay, so just take note that we are actually trying to mimic a real world where you try to save lives in that sense. Okay, so what are we actually doing? This real world challenge is actually both inter-team. All right, that means it's really a cooperation between the 4 teams in each detail. All right, and also inter-detail competition. So that means you can compete between details as well. So in the coming lessons, all right, this will be what you'll be doing. So let me just get my phone to get the details out, so you can actually read by yourselves here. So the first thing is that in each detail, all right, your detail is the same detail as assigned to you since lesson 2. You will decide amongst yourself which scenario to attempt in advance so that all teams can proceed. So for example, there are 4 teams, right? There are 4 plus scenarios, so to speak. Okay, details will be shared in a while. So the 4 teams will have to negotiate and decide amongst yourself, okay, who is going to take scenario 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, in that sense. So once you are called up, all right, you will have to place the drone at the takeoff point, TOP. So you decide who will be the pilot and the other person will be the retriever. So there's no swapping this time around. So if from lesson 2, right, you feel that you are the better pilot, convince your other person in your team, all right, that you should pilot this drone for lesson 4 or lesson 5. Okay, so because there won't be time to swap the roles, and also the LiPo battery life of the drones is going to be quite limited. Okay, and you basically don't swap batteries. You will just start with that fresh bat. Okay, so decide who's the better pilot to fly the drone. All right, in lesson 3 you actually saw the video. When your detail is called, you move to the stand in front of the scenario that your team has chosen. So S1 to S4. And note that S1 and S2 are actually the same task. That means scenarios 1 and 2, you actually perform exactly the same task. It's a lower risk kind of scenario for 2 teams to try to get as many points for your detail. Okay, so of course it's the same level of difficulty. The retriever will stand behind the landing pad or the landing point, LP in short. The magnetic retriever will be attached by the air traffic controller or the teacher. So once attached, the drone will be turned on and the pilot checks the battery level. So you do this first check. If you see 4 dots, okay, or 5 dots, at least 4 dots, 5 dots is okay to go. All right, if you see 3 dots, let us know immediately. We will replace the battery, so you are not disadvantaged. all teams in the same detail will have the same 5 minutes to accomplish. So once the time is start, all the same detail teams will have the same timing. So scenarios 1 and 2 and 3 can be repeated within the 5 minutes. Scenario 4 item is a little bit bulkier or heavier, so you probably might only be able to do a second task, which is the 4 plus or required 4A. Okay. Now because the level of difficulty for scenarios 3 and 4 are higher, and scenarios 4 load is bulky or heavier, the drone's depot battery is actually drained faster. So we will recommend the best pilot in your detail to attempt scenarios 3 and 4. Okay. Now let's move on. When the 5 minutes is up, okay, you just need to power off the drone if the drone battery has not been run flat ready, okay, regardless of where the drone is. So you just have to execute emergency stop, or you just press buttons A and B to let the drone stop flying. Okay. Now the retriever reports to the air traffic controller, and you need to furnish the following details. Okay. So the details are actually the detail and the team number. So for example, detail 1, team number 1. Okay. The scenario that you have actually attempted. Okay. So you just tell us, oh, I did S1. Okay. Or S2. Okay. Show the items retrieved to the air traffic controller. Of course, you have to let us see. So if you say that you attempted scenario 3, right, but you give the wrong item, right, then you're just trying to be funny. Okay. So you have to put the items back to the original starting position for the next detail teams to come forward. Okay. So the air traffic controller will record some scores on their score sheet there. So of course you pull back for the next detail to come forward. Now you need to observe other teams and they actually perform their selected task. Of course, the first detail that comes out is usually the one that's so-called like feeling around and showing as good or bad examples for the other details. But like it or not, one detail has to start first. Okay, so that's most likely detail 1. Now and encourage your fellow classmates. Okay. Now there is unlikely a second chance, so please seize the opportunity to do what is right. So you only have one LiPo battery, either 4 dots or full charge 5 dots, and good luck to all. Okay. Now in the scenario, you will be presented quite clearly the details, and of course you can also access the necessary info from the Google Classroom lessons 4 and 5, and of course how the scoring is to be done as well. See you.